Can you name as many Asian American actors that you know? This is hard.
I know.
I actually don't know of any Asian American actors.
Asian American. I don't know any.
Jackie Chan.
I'm starting to think of like Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan, that's all I know.
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee. Jet Li.
Jet Li. Jackie Chan. Those two. Yeah.
Oh, Asian American. Sorry.
Like, in the US or?
That's a little more difficult, I guess.
Oh, that guy in Lost. There's that guy from X-Men.
The guy from Harold and Kumar.
Asian guy in the Fast and Furious. I don't know his name either. There's that guy. That guy from Hangover. Hangover?
What's the guy's name from Community?
He's also in Community. I love him in that, but I don't remember his name either.
I don't know any besides the one in the memoirs of the geisha. I forgot her name.
The girl from, what is it? Charlie's Angels? And yeah, I think that's it.
Can you name as many Asian American musicians in mainstream as you can?
Mainstream. Clara Chang, AJ Raphael.
Like on the radio.
On the radio, oh.
I don't know.
Yeah. None.
That's tough. That group came up with that song. What's that song? What is that called? What are they called? It's a bunch of guys. That's not very helpful, huh? Like a G6. Not bad. That's it. There aren't many, huh?
Asian Americans have never had a proper introduction into popular culture. However, with the power of the internet and new media platforms, things are starting to change.
When we talk about Asian American entertainment, I definitely think we have to talk about pre-YouTube and post-YouTube.
The environment prior to new media shows a lack of demand for Asian Americans in entertainment, coupled with an equal lack of supply, which left America with very little exposure to this community.
Well, when I was growing up, there was no Asian American I could necessarily, that was sort of young, cool, someone that I could really look up to.
There are a lot of pressures from our family to do other things,
I have my whole life ahead of me. I kind of want to be successful first, and I don't even know what I'm doing right now.
All I hear is the I. What about the me?
In high school or in college, I remember filling out or taking career tests or whatever they're called, to see what you're gonna do. We would say, okay, well, there's these, but I know my parents wouldn't want me to do that. This wouldn't make any money. This wouldn't be practical. So you're left with the typical ones: lawyer, doctor, engineer.
Asian immigrants sort of discourage something that's sort of out of the norm.
They're always engineers, lawyers, doctors, that's all you're gonna be. And it's like entertainers, what? Comedians, what?
As a director, when I actually am looking for Asian actors, I have to admit it is difficult because there's just not a lot represented. And I don't know if that's because there aren't enough Asian male actors who think they can make it are coming to LA to go pursue that.
When I went into high school, I didn't do it because I was kind of nervous, because I really didn't see anybody that was Asian doing it, and really didn't have any. All my favorite actors weren't Asian.
And I remember even watching MTV with my sisters, and if there was just the Asian in a commercial, just walking by, we'd be like, "Hey, that dude is Asian," and we would get hype on it just because there was an Asian on TV who wasn't even doing anything.
I was never aware of the limits until I went out there and I realized, oh gosh, here's the box I'm supposed to fit in, just show up, get a Polaroid taken and say these few words. That's when I felt like token Asian, you know what I mean? Asians in their 20s, now fit in this box.
I remember always being on set and I was the token Asian, and it would be a new music video, oh, token Asian. Or my description on my sheet would be Asian girl. Yeah, that's definitely me.
There are certain stereotypes that every single race and culture has, but then everybody's a little bit different. I'm not what you call a typical Asian. I'm loud, I'm outspoken.
Let me tell you something. Weight loss is a bitch. I'm stressed out. Every day
wake up, I'm sore. I'm sore.
You know, sometimes I wear my shoes in the house, not all the time.
Out of this impossible system of one-dimensional characters emerged a groundbreaking film that finally introduced the world to dynamic and compelling Asian American characters.
I'm Parry Shen, and I've been an actor for about 17 years, and I'm probably best known for my role in MTV Films' Better Luck Tomorrow.
Yeah, Better Luck Tomorrow was, I freaking love this film because it's a good film, and that in itself excited me. Because the characters and the acting was so great in that film.
That was the seminal film of like, this is what Asian American films can be like.
We all read the script, you know, it's like, why don't you read for the character of Ben? You know, Ben is like page 1, you know, Ben and Virgil. He's like, whoa, are you serious? You know, it's kind of sad that it was such a surprise, but usually when I, back then, was asked to read for something, your character starts on page 47. It's like, okay, 2 lines. Okay, here we go. You know, and this was so rich and so three-dimensional, and it was so meaty. It's like, okay, yes, this is why I went to acting class, and all of us, you know, during pilot season, where most actors make their money, because we're like, even we talked about this. We're like, you know, there's so many of our competition are locked up in this movie. You know, like maybe one of us should just get out and just go on pilot season because everyone is booked out. But we realized that even if we did book a pilot, it would be some supporting character, the 5th lead, you know, just doing the stereotypical stuff. And this was like really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We all recognized that at the time.
We don't have leads. You know, we have side characters and we have interesting types, but you don't see very many leading role characters, especially, you know, on the pilot season. I've been going out for a lot of pilots, but it's not going to be a lead.
You have a history of Western culture of sort of putting the Asian female into very specific dual roles. It's either submissive, like sort of, you know, geisha, submissive, sexually like completely subservient type, or the complete opposite, the dragon lady, like, you know, right? Those are the only two.
I knew, like, you know, being frustrated with the stuff that I used to always go out for, you know, delivery boys and then martial artists, and it's like, you know, I was, you know, about ready to quit. So were all the other guys too that I ended up doing the movie with.
The point about the martial arts action hero is that it is also a way of othering the Asian male. Something slightly different, something slightly mystical, something that a power or a skill or a background that Asians possess. And so we still have this particular way of not imagining Asian men as American.
Given that there's so many actors, there's so few roles, and then if you put the race equation on top of that, there's even fewer roles, and of those roles, I mean, there's fewer that you kind of would be proud to play.
Sometimes when people can't figure out how to make the writing funny, they're like, just do an accent with it. And I find that an accent is fine if the comedy is coming from the character, not from the accent.
In old country, one sit at the table 12 hours waiting for great-grandfather Kim to join us. Turn out he died overnight.
So if I look at a script and the script is not well written and the characters are not fully formed, then I don't have any interest in doing it. But just having an accent on a character, to me, is not enough of a reason not to do something.
You know, it's so gratifying seeing, you know, going to the screenings in New York and in San Francisco and LA, you know, people coming out saying, thank you, I've been waiting for this. But at the same time, when you have something that has a lot of eyeballs on it, everybody wants it to be everything for everybody.
There's kind of this burden that you have to be representative of the entire Asian American community, which no one show can do.
And a lot of people who are older generation, where we're saying, you know, this is not about being Asian American, and you know, you're showing these horrible images of, you know, these guys committing crimes, and they didn't know that, you know, this was based on a true story that happened in 1990, and this was really happening, and these kids just happen to be Asian that are doing were doing these horrendous things, and then thought they can get away with anything, and it was just sort of a disconnect with I think from when they did test screenings. People from over a certain age just didn't think these things happened, thought we were just fabricating it.
Everybody has a specific, like, image of something that they want to see that will fulfill them. And because there's been such a lack of fulfilling things for them to watch on television that reflect their experience, that when they finally get it, all they're going to do is pick it apart.
For us to be viewed as normal, like we have to have our doctors and lawyers, but we also have our drug dealers and criminals and everything in between. And that way, that they're like, oh, they're not just all, you know what I mean, dorks, you know, but they're not all gangsters. To show every bit of the spectrum is what we need to do.
Hi there, I'm Sujin Park with MTV News. Better Luck Tomorrow, a film directed by Justin Lin, was acquired by MTV Films in early 2002. It's a first in many respects. It's the first Asian American film to be picked up at the Sundance Film Festival, and it's the first film acquired by MTV Films, which is a monumental achievement furthering the future of Asian American cinema.
After Better Luck Tomorrow, I vowed myself that I would not take any more stereotypical roles, you know, because, you know, I can't regress. And that year, the year after Better Luck Tomorrow, I got one acting gig and I made $300 in acting money total. And that was like, I was like, it messes with, you know, your head, financially. You're like, oh, I just came off this big movie and now I can't get any work because I'm turning down everything because everything doesn't live up to par to me. Who the hell am I to turn down stuff? And then, you know, then also you have people, you know, fans of the movie saying, you know, what are you doing? Why are you being in a commercial, you loser? You know, you're not saying anything. It's like, well, this is the only thing that wasn't stereotypical. But, you know, it's me going like this, an adult commercial going, you know, and it's so generic, but it was the one thing that wasn't, you know, stereotypical. And, you know, then I had my fans bashing on me for some roles that I did take. And then the following year after that, I decided, you know what, I have to make the choices that I think are right for me. And people are going to have to trust me that I'm going to have the sensibilities to play something, you know, as unstereotypical as possible. That's why I never really judge anybody who takes any role, because I don't know what went on there. It could have been even more racist, and he found a way to water it down, you know, to make, because somebody is going to get cast for that role. It isn't some guy writing maliciously saying, you know what, I'm going to put down the Asian race by writing this guy, this Ching Chong guy, haha, one for the white people. It's from ignorance. This is what they've seen in the past. From Charlie Chan movies to, unfortunately, Gadia Watanabe in 16 Candles.
What's happening, hot stuff?
And it just sort of gets recycled because people are fans of these movies, and this is when they want to write an Asian character. Oh, this is what I grew up with. The reason why Gilmore Girls was Keiko Gena plays such a rich character as a friend to Alexis Bledell's character in that show was because the writer, Amy Sherman Palladino, grew up with a Korean girlfriend. That's why it was so three-dimensional.
One of her best friends is Helen Pai, and Helen Pai was the basis of Lane Kim. But a lot of those stories are Helen's stories. Lane had a secret closet that she had all of her music in and funky lighting and stuff, and Helen had that too. Initially, that was one of the scenes that they wanted to cut for budget reasons, was to go to the Kim's house, because it was a big set with the antique store, and you know, it's like, this is not integral to the story. And Amy really had to fight for it. She said, no, I really want to have this as part of the pilot.
It's important that, you know, minorities do get behind the camera in writing and directing, and I feel like that's kind of the only way that you'll ever really be able to have that control, to have that power, to be able to go to the studio and say, no, this is my story, I'm going to tell it like this. You know, it's very personal to me.
Unfortunately, the Asian American foothold in the industry is still weak. With little proof of marketability, there's a shortage of leading role opportunities for Asian Americans to prove themselves.
You know, Justin was telling this interesting, compelling, crazy story about this group of kids that just happen to be Asian, you know?
And so he was finding other people to invest in Better Luck Tomorrow, and he shot the script around. And one executive said, you know, I love the script, we'll give you $1 million, which is 4 times the budget that we needed, as long as you change the characters to anything else but Asian. It just box office suicide. And I just heard this interesting stat from Nielsen's rating They said that Asian Americans consume the most YouTube videos, hands down. And that's very interesting because when Better Luck Tomorrow came out and they brought out this marketing chart of who to market the movie to, it was divvied up to 3 demographics: Latino, Black, and Caucasian. They had no statistics on any Asians supporting anything.
I've been told a couple times from record executives that you have a great voice and you're a really talented musician and we would love to sign you, but you're Asian and we don't know how to market you.
At the end of the day, we talk about stereotypes and ethnicity and so forth, but the only color people really care about in the business is green, and they want to make money.
If you're an audience member, the only thing that, it's like you can talk about, oh, Hollywood should give us that stuff, but it's like, I can tell you exactly why, for example, they cast a white kid in Avatar, right? It's because everyone's like, well, they should have cast this kid. It's like, well, it doesn't matter because there's not been demonstrated Asians making money for a movie at all, ever.
Oh, so wait, go and do the bender, do the whoa. Wait a second, you're not Asian?
I guarantee you the person in charge of casting that was thinking, okay, this is an Asian character, there should be an Asian person in there. And the money is what said, okay, you know what, we can't risk that.
What I understand with casting at Fox, it's wide open. And producers are not even encouraged, they're told that they must think broadly. They have to think about what the audience of the United States is. It only helps them to have people of color on the air or on the screen because that's who lives in the United States. That's what is, America. It's not, just one color. It is a variety of people.
I think studios and television companies are trying to market to us. I really think, but they don't know how, because we're not like one way. Right? We're not even one political group. We don't live in one area. We don't even speak the same language sometimes.
Asians are fairly distributed and disparate. So you are Korean, or you are Japanese, or you are Chinese. And the reality is that, yes, we are all very ethnically different, but race-wise, I think we need to be slightly more supportive of each other.
But I think a lot of it also has to do with, the fact that bootlegging is so huge in the Asian culture. If we don't have our own people supporting us in our art, who the hell is going to buy our DVDs? My own parents were like, well, why should we buy this online when your uncle has it and he can make copies for all of us? And I'm like, that's not the point. So they don't get it, and they're obviously huge supporters of mine. But bottom line is, they're like, if we can get it for free, why wouldn't we?
So if you want Asian representation in mainstream media, you vote with your dollar.
In the pursuit of opportunities and visibility, community support is vital. There existed only few platforms to bring artists and audience together until a grassroots movement aimed to fill that void.
My name is Mike Song, and I am a choreographer, dancer. Collaboration. In the beginning, it was literally to provide a platform. There was no YouTube. There was no platform at all to even just have a big theater, to feel like legitimate to perform for a big audience. There was nothing like that for Asian Americans. It gave a platform to so many people and just instills a level of confidence and drive to all the performers that took part in that. Collaboration was the first talent show that the first pretty major talent show that I ever performed at. It was the first time I ever conjured up a routine with friends, straight up. That was one of the most life-changing performances of my life, because oh man, dates back to my sister took me to a show called Collaboration before I entered, just to watch. First, it was the biggest inspiration for me to want to start choreographing and make a little crew of dancers, because the crew that inspired me was this group called Breakdown. So that kind of gave me the inspiration to enter the next year. And I don't know if you've ever seen a clip of the robot guy at Collaboration.
His name's David Elsewhere. It was one of the original YouTube viral videos. And 2001, he came up on stage, and he's the most amazing dancer. And so we took the video, it had Collaboration on the bottom, and I just streamed it.
There's like a young Asian kid right before him. That's me. That was when I was 14, I think, and I went to go watch that show, and that changed my life on so many levels. A, it inspired me to want to do the same. B, the most humbling experience ever to just get on stage in front of all these people. Next year I entered collaboration with my group of friends, and that was the first time. My parents didn't support dancing when I was younger, and collaboration was the first time that my parents, when they saw me, we won in collaboration 2002. They came, and after the show, my dad gave me money and was like, good job, and it was such a revelation to me. I was like, whoa, this is what I want to do for a while, or as a hobby for the rest of my life, for sure. And it was that changing moment, and I just always credit collaboration on so many levels, because A, had it not existed the year before, I would have never seen Breakdown, so it would have never given me that inspiration. B, if it didn't keep existing, I wouldn't have had any platform to perform this to anywhere beyond something bigger than my high school talent shows.
There's nothing more important than building self-confidence in young people, and they believe that they can do anything they want to do. We gather everybody together, have everybody share what their dream is. And so once you vocalize that in front of a group of people, it starts happening. Your life starts going towards that dream once you vocalize it.
PK was telling me a story about, I forget which collaboration, but he was just saying where all my, my Hmong people's at, and he said the reverberation of the crowd was yeah, they had, it was a moment for them to really identify with that. It's just cool to see so many different Asian American artists in the media now stem from collaboration. I remember when they would be like, yo, everybody stand up, get up, and it was just the Asian audience not getting up.
If you're feeling me, sit still. If you're feeling me, sit still. Just breathe, blink, stare, and think. Go 1, 2, 3 to the 4. If you think I'm the best, just breathe through your nose, breathe through your mouth, breathe some air. To me, that's the same as your hand in the air. Is your hand in the air? No, it's down by your side. That's how I know you're feeling my rhyme. When I do nothing, you do nothing. Yeah, that's right.
And now everybody's like, woo, but I totally remember, being one of the Asians that was afraid to stand up and just being like, whoa, okay, they're Asian American rappers.
I was at USC from 2004 to 2008. I was doing cinema production, and I graduated and I actually started off doing regular film stuff. I got freelance editing gigs. I was an assistant editor at a tech startup. So I was kind of going down that path originally, and throughout USC and then also sort of afterwards, I really like making these short movies. A friend of mine, Brandon Lodge, and I, we would just get a camera, we would just shoot stupid things. And we were doing sort of the traditional Hollywood stuff. We're going down the direct-to-DVD, direct-to-TV feature route. I produced a direct-to-TV, direct-to-DVD feature. And the sense was, when we were doing that, I was like, it's a really crappy gig, because you're sort of saddled with really, you're saddled with low budgets. You're really kind of trying really hard to make it very commercial. So you're trying to make sure you get a B-movie actor in there or some name. And the scripts are always kind of kind of schlocky,
Oh my God, that is definitely not the same bear.
Yeah, this one's got balls.
It's just kind of it wasn't really appealing,
It's all about who you know and the credits you have, and no matter how much you prove yourself as a director and how talented you are, if your name is not known in the industry, people don't even bother to look twice at you.
While some explored the limited options of starting out in traditional media, others sought out new ways to share content.
Before YouTube and before everything, there was Napster. Before Napster just consisted of word of mouth, finding tapes. That was how you had to do it. With the induction of Napster, which changed the game, you were able to just search, cool breakdancing clip. And there was only 4 clips, literally 4 clips that I could name off right now. You would just watch over and over again, and people uploaded them under different names. So you'd be like, oh my gosh, this is a new one that's different. You would download it and you'd be like, it's the same clip.
I mean, people were posting up content on Asian Avenue. I don't know if you remember Asian Avenue, but a lot of the artists like Notorious MSG, Far East Movement was even on that, and Magnetic North up in the East Coast. They were taking advantage of all the new mediums, like at that time.
How I first found out about the collegiate scene, I just found a random website. I was so obsessed with finding clips. So I searched and I found this video of Kaba Modern. And when I saw that this scene even existed where there's 30 people dancing together, it blew my mind.
It's just created a platform for you to share your work, I guess, with more people. It also gives a way for people who don't have a dance community to be a part of, to kind of see what's going on globally at different places, and connected people internationally, which is, you know, huge.
When I was in high school, I was already dancing and I started to try and post videos of myself in high school. And the way that I did it was super ghetto. Like on Zanga, like there was this way where you could like upload videos and then you could just only put up the link and people could download it. And you just had to describe what's on the link. So I was already interested in posting my own videos. Then once I found out about YouTube, I was like, oh, it's free!
We're like, all right, let's focus on doing YouTube, because this, first of all, it's like the other direction we're going is not fun. This seems to be way more fun. Let's just do whatever we want to do, and at the same time we can kind of like be improving our sort of filmmaking skills and be putting something out and hopefully making a living off of it. We had an idea of like, okay, we have to commit to it. You know, it's one of those things where, especially in the entertainment industry, it's like if you don't go 100% into something, it's just like you can never do it. I have friends who are like, oh yeah, I'm working as an assistant here and I'm trying to also get my short produced. And it's like, well, you can't really do both. So that was the idea with YouTube. It was like, all right, we're going to focus on YouTube. We have enough money from our other gigs to float for like 6 months. And we're going to focus on this for 6 months and just 100% on that, no matter what. And then we'll see where that takes us.
As new media served as an alternative to the traditional route for some, others grew up with sites such as YouTube and became young Asian American pioneers of this space.
I am Kevin Wu, also known as KevJumba online. I've been making videos on YouTube for 5 years. So I started posting videos when I was 16. I was a junior in high school, and my very first video is me dancing in my backyard. So like I just basically started posting videos because I was bored and I had like no friends. So I thought maybe if I made videos on YouTube, I could make friends. Oh, I kept it really low key, so I didn't tell like my friends or even my family that I was doing it. I kind of was just doing it for my own self because in high school I felt really out of place.
Hey freshman. Hello. Get the hell out of here.
And I needed some sort of medium to sort of like get my voice out there. Some people watched the Dancing in the Backyard video and gave me really nice comments. At first, it was just like literally like 50 to 100 views a video, and I would get like 1 to 2 comments, and it'd really be exciting for me. Like oh my God, 50 people are watching, like 50 people. I don't even know 50 people back then. I was like, dang, that's a lot, 50 views.
I had a video that like jumped up pretty quick, and that was when I started realizing, ooh, people are actually like watching this that I don't even know who they are. This is like a specific Kaba video, Fusion 2007, I think. And then, yeah, that's when I started realizing I should post more. Oh, Victor was posting early too, actually. Victor Kim, who we were roommates at the time, but you know, we never really thought of it as this is gonna be like what we're living off of. We were just like, hey, let's just post on YouTube. Let's see if anybody watches it. And there's like 20 views, but who's watching it? And it's probably all 20 from us.
I started making all types of different videos, like lip sync videos, and then I started video blogging. And after like 2 or 3 videos, like on my like 3rd video, it's called I Have to Deal with Stereotypes.
Hey, my name's Kevin, and there's one thing I really hate, and that is stereotypes. Who's this slanty-eyed kid? Oh my God, I hate him. But guess what? Guess what? Asians don't have slanty eyes. See? See? Not slanty. Big eyes.
Types, and it got featured on the homepage. So after that. Like, it went from getting 50 to 100 videos to getting 500,000 views overnight because of getting featured.
If you were to start now, you have to have that consistency. People are very spoiled with their almost, you know, it's like, it's not like watch a movie and, oh, that was a great movie, now we'll wait a year or two for the sequel to come out. I mean, it's like, what happened to you? Where's your new video?
KevJumba, you haven't made a video in like eternity. Eternity. Hey, yo, Slip, what'd you say my fans were like again?
They're like piranha.
Piranhas.
Vicious for your video.
They're vicious.
And it's only been like a few days or a week. I mean, that's the type of appetite that people have when they watch their YouTube subscriptions. They really think something's wrong with you if you haven't updated.
I think in the first 2 weeks when we started YouTube, we went nuts. I think we were doing like a video every 2 or 3 days. And it wasn't like very good stuff. It was just very quick turnaround, very easy ideas. And we would just grab a camera, shoot it, put it up, and just throwing it out there and trying to get it linked around. And then after that, we settled into this sort of schedule of doing like one a week, and then just kept working at it. And it was crazy because first 6 months I think we grew pretty quickly, but we were, you know, just experimenting, and we were throwing things out there and seeing what people reacted to. What did they like? And okay, they didn't like this. Okay, we'll change that around. And it was a lot of fun because we were able to react to the audience and how they were reacting to our stuff, you know, which is a kind of a cool back and forth that you don't really get, especially with traditional sort of direct-to-DVD film, because we would make one and we wouldn't hear back about how anyone liked it for 8 months, because we make it and then 8 months later you'd hear back from somebody and be like, oh, the reviews say that this part sucked and this part was good. And it's like, it was 8 months between the two things. There's no way to improve if you're getting your feedback that far ahead of when you're done with something.
I love comments on YouTube. I love the honesty, the good and the bad. And you really have to love it to grow.
At first it's jarring because you're not used to people just saying what they mean, but at the same time it's kind of refreshing.
So there's two extremes. There's the people that just hate you and say you should die, and then there's the people that are just so infatuated with you for some reason. They're like, I want to marry you and I want babies with you, and then our babies can have babies. And then there's the people in the middle, these are the people that you really have to embrace their good and bad, because they're just being honest. They'll say like, hey, I like this video, but this part wasn't funny, or like this, like I liked your old, like bring back this. So like these are all suggestions. They're all trying to help you. So like YouTube comments at the end of the day, like you just have to embrace them because it's people responding to you.
We have creative freedom, and we have no oversight on that, and we're able to sustain ourselves off of it. And I think a lot of people define success in the entertainment industry under mainstream terms, where you're not successful until you have a television show, or, you know, there's like these sort of very old school definitions of success. I think first and foremost, when we do our videos, first and foremost, the question that we ask is like, is this something that we actually enjoy doing? We always say that there's like, you have to kind of imagine there's two sort of, it's like a Venn diagram, right? You have one side, you have this is everything that you enjoy making. The other side is everything that people enjoy watching, right? So wherever that overlap is where you want to be finding yourself.
Amongst the most popular content on YouTube are vlogs. Individuals can freely voice their opinions about topics that matter to them.
I talk about stuff that Asian Americans don't like to talk about, like sex, which is so taboo in our culture, like drugs, drinking, even masturbation. I've talked about all these different things.
Oh, you want to know where a baby comes from? Okay, you know, there's a special kind of bird, like a white stork. They fly like this, you know, and they deliver the baby to your doorstep.
You sure it's not from having sex with someone?
No, it's nothing to do with sex. Who told you this?
And it's because, you know, as a culture, we gotta just be more honest, and we can't just pretend it's not there.
Every single other race, their threshold for comedy and the boundaries that you can push is very, very high. Like when we took writing classes at UCB, white people, black people, Hispanic people, people cuss on a regular basis.
because they're not trying to cuss on purpose. They're just portraying realistic life where people cuss.
Even my parents give me a lot of stuff. I mean, they give me like, you know, they're like, why are you talking about this? Like, because we're a different generation than our parents.
Dad, what are you doing?
Look at what I found in your room. Drugs! So much drugs!
Okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't gonna do them. Why are you wearing a samurai suit?
Because it dishonors our own family. I'm gonna kill myself.
So if my parents aren't giving me like smack about what I'm doing, then I'm doing something wrong. I need to like push the boundary, but I do it in a very like humorous way.
I'm not some cute puppy. Okay, Jamie? I don't like being called adorable because no one wants to date the adorable guy. No one wants to hook up with the adorable guy. No one's ever like, oh my god, you're so adorable. Let's fuck. No one.
There's like a fine line where you can talk about it and make fun of it and not cross the line, but still cause a discussion that people, you know, can engage in.
It's just funny, I actually got a comment from somebody and she wrote, I have to unsubscribe from you because you are too biased. And in my mind, I was like, you're stupid. You know, like, what comedian isn't biased? When have you ever heard of a middle ground comedian? You know, an opinion is there for a reason because we're either gonna go one way or the other.
Do you know why I watched the first Twilight movie? Because my girl at the time made me go. Do you know why we broke up? Because she made me watch Twilight. So how'd you like the movie? It was good, yeah? No, and it's over between us. Get out. For those of you who have not seen any of the Twilight movies, let me summarize it for you in a few seconds. Don't watch the movie, just watch this. Turn me into a vampire. No. Turn me into a vampire. No. Turn me into a vampire. I'm sorry, what was that? Turn me into a... No.
If for example, if I if I were to talk about a topic and I said, well, there's merits on both sides, who the hell would care?
These outspoken opinions and bold choices often take older generations by surprise. The cultural and generation gap can be difficult to overcome.
When this kind of took off, they were still like, what are you doing? Like, you're supposed to be taking the SAT right now. Why are you like making videos in your room?
I should probably end this video right now because I gotta do more of this thing.
It just didn't make sense to them.
You know, it's like every young generation wants to do something new. They want to do something groundbreaking. They want to go against what the norm is. And that's what all of us are doing.
You know, we know that as a community, we do need to rock the boat. We do need to vote, and we need to be out there in the community. We need to be talking about our issues, right?
You know what? I'll let you off with the warning on the condition that you register and vote.
And what happens if I don't?
Don't silence yourself.
KevJumba, do you not care about your future? Do you not care about America? I do care, all right? I even got myself a voter registration form.
And so I feel like this newer generation gets that.
It's taken a while to sort of get to this point where more and more Asian Americans are realizing, I want to do what I love and I want to go into the arts.
And it didn't really make sense to them until like last year when they let me move out to LA, that they were actually saw this and really just like let me go. Like, in a sense, like they've always been so a part of my lives and making sure I went this pathway, but I kept like trying to skew off, and like now they're finally like, okay, you can just do whatever you want.
I had to convince, you know, my parents to let me take off a quarter from college, and you know, it's pretty difficult to do regardless of what kind of parents you have, especially because I was getting financial aid from the school too, and I would have to stop my financial aid in order. I had to cancel that to stop it. So yeah, I had to cancel my financial aid based on this chance of a television show. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of concern in my family going into it. As soon as the first episode aired.
And you right here with the green New York hat, you are crazy. Crazy.
My parents were like, yeah! They were like super supportive. And so that was awesome.
For me, like when I look at designers, like I remember Jason Wu was saying, you know, his biggest client is his mom. She buys everything, like the whole collection. She buys everything she likes. He was saying like she buys it out every time, and you know, I think that is the structure that we need to be able to really encourage non-traditional, you know, career paths.
If you don't have support surrounding you and constantly telling you that you're going to make it, you'll probably crumble under the pressure a lot sooner.
While gaining the support and understanding of family, it was also vital for content creators to find comfort in the support of one another.
No, it's not working. The car's broken.
No. You have to push in the clutch first before you turn the key.
Is this the clutch right here? The engine's on. What do I do now?
Okay, now you put it in purse.
In purse?
In
I don't have a purse.
No, not you have a purse. I'm saying put it in purse.
Put the gear in first.
On YouTube, if you want to grow, you kind of sort of have to collaborate with people and get their fans. And just like in music, you know, big artists collaborate with each other.
It's really become a community where we try and support each other in terms of collaborations as well as just moral support and trying to help each other come up, and it's exciting to see where people are going.
A lot of the people that I'm like really close with now are just people that I'd watch as a fan. I'd be like, you know, like the way that I talked to Kevin for the first time was through Twitter.
With just a click, literally you can send your message out there. Being able to just tell whoever follows you a message instantly, you know, it's like sending a text through to everyone.
I saw that he was following Quest Crew on the thing. I was like, oh snap, KevJumba's following Quest Crew. So I messaged him, I'm like, hey man, I just want to say I'm a big fan of your videos. I noticed you're following Quest. Keep doing what you're doing. And then he tweeted back, and just right away, a couple weeks later, he's like, hey, I'm doing this meet and greet at Six Flags. Do you want to go? I got like free tickets. I was like, yeah. It's just kind of like interesting how a tweet leads to us living together, you know?
I've kind of stepped out and not just collaborated with big YouTubers. I've also tried to collaborate with a lot of like people in the mainstream.
Hey, Jeremy Lin, I bet you can't make this piece of paper into this trash can right here.
Alright.
Told you! I told you! Not in my house, baby! Not in my house!
Because I do want to cross that bridge of like, hey, this is internet and hey, this is mainstream.
I like your body, girl. I like your body.
Kev's in the studio right now. He's in the booth. He's getting it in. The mic is off. Like all the equipment is off. He thinks we're making it some big smash single. Kill it.
Yeah, am I killing it?
You're killing it. You're killing it. Do that line over again. Do that line over again.
I like your body, girl. Your body, girl.
And it's cool because all these videos I do with these mainstream celebrities, it humanizes them. Like they see me hanging out with them, and then my audience feels like, oh, they get to know these guys on a more personal level.
Other people that are our age or older that might be thinking, hey guys, come on, you guys gotta get away from these like silly YouTube videos.
Oh my gosh, it's Kathy Nguyen. Kathy is sitting over there eating.
It's funny because there's so many Hollywood directors or even actors that are like, man, I want to get on YouTube. I want to start YouTube.
And the people on TV right now are having a hard time crossing into social networking.
And then we're on YouTube and we're trying to get there, and it's like, it seems like we're going like the opposite direction. But I think just people kind of want to have a foothold in both areas, and I think that's kind of what we're trying to do right now.
I think building a fan base on YouTube is extremely smart.
It's like everybody going along with the process of me growing as an artist.
They don't only notice the songs that you're singing, they look in your eyes and see, they try to get to know you, like, and they look at everything like the fireplace and things like that in your house, and to see what kind of person you are.
People are attracted to very honest stories now. People are attracted to connecting with real people.
These kids, they never had like heroes to kind of hold on to in the mainstream, you know, so they kind of look to us as their heroes, you know, and then we have way more loyal fans and things like that.
They feel like they're talking almost to a best friend, or watching a best friend, or watching someone closely related in their family.
This unique personal connection, along with more interactive and direct ways to connect, has shifted trends of media consumption.
What I find myself doing when I get home is I am not just checking my Facebook, my Twitter. I'm watching stuff on YouTube, I'm watching stuff on Hulu, I'm watching stuff on my Apple TV, on Netflix streaming, and so it's about I find myself probably watching more of that kind of stuff than even live television.
I've always been kind of anti-social media, but The Voice actually made me get a Twitter and Facebook page because they wanted me to be interactive with the Voice fans. But I'm very, very grateful that they did and that they pushed that upon me, because it's been an incredible way to interact with fans. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, it's been awesome.
The existence of these videos online, it's like I'm doing gigs all the time. 24 hours a day online for anyone to watch.
Tune in at NBC at 8 o'clock. Like that kind of is, that's going by the wayside. And I think definitely when you look at a person like KevJumba or Ryan Higa, and you see like the kind of numbers they're attracting, the number of subscribers, and just the number of people who watch just one particular video.
It cut out the middleman, and before you have to go to TV, you have to pitch shows to TV and to movies, you have to raise all this money. But YouTube just basically cut that all out. You go directly to the consumer.
I roll with my uncles in the capo. I cruise with my aunties in the capo. Say lays to the haters in the capo. Life is always good in the capo, baby.
A lot of people are building their own companies, building their own film teams like Wong Fu. You have a lot of musicians who are like making careers touring the world, like Clara, and it's really empowered the independent artist into becoming entrepreneurial.
I mean, it's letting you grow a fan base without labels stealing all your money, or it's basically letting individuals everywhere start their own little businesses.
It was just like through Yellow Fever, through that shirt that he wore, it was our first taste of what product placement could do, I guess. And we kind of gave it a try on our own brand, and then it worked well, and things just kind of continued from there.
Wes is a graphic designer, and maybe he should make a t-shirt and I'll wear it.
Trying.
And then so I wore it in a short that we made called Just a Nice Guy, and within as soon as we put it out, people were asking for the shirt, and we started selling the shirt, and a lot of people were buying it, and we started making more designs, and the brand just grew from there. And that really gave us the financial freedom to get away from like the weddings for our friends and stuff like that, and we could just focus completely on Wong Fu. So that really helped out a lot, just the fans supporting us through our merchandise.
All the people that really use social media to build their brand, it's really taught all of us in general how to market ourselves, continually trying and seeing what type of content works for us and what doesn't. It's we're really learning marketing 101.
You have people who's even if they got offered, I don't need you. I don't need the studio deal. I'm doing my own thing. I have millions of people who watch me, more than cable TV show, and I'm making a living from it.
So people ask me who's going to distribute your stuff. I go me, because I have close to 3 million subscribers between my two channels. So if a tenth of them go and pay $4, that's do the math. That's 300,000 times 4. That's 1.2 million.
Literally thousands and thousands of titles try to get us to Target every day, and the fact that we made it in there just is a testament really to that. You can do it without big companies and stuff. You can do it on your own. We made the CD in a house. We're releasing the album independently. We've released these music videos independently. We're releasing these songs independently with no one telling us, no A&R telling us, oh, this song's not good enough to put out right now. You know what I'm saying?
I put out a song called Nice Guys.
Nice guys finish last, that's why I'll treat you like trash. It's not what I really wanna do.
And I'm not a musician, but that song was top 50 on iTunes, and it's still in the top 10 for comedy charts on iTunes, and it's been like that for 6 months.
I'll never open the door or pull out a chair. You can tell me how your day was, but I don't really care. And if you ever get cold, you'll just have to hack it, cause I'd be cold too if I gave you my jacket.
And we sold over 150,000 copies, and that blows my mind.
It was really amazing to physically see your CD, say, Singapore or Australia or, London. It was really cool. And that's not something you can do. You could do all the gigs at all the local bars and, tour, but to have that much just instant impact, I think YouTube is responsible for that.
Sold out. The motherfucking
With unlimited visibility and massive fan followings throughout new media, we're witnessing the formation of solid careers bridging both traditional and new media.
Yeah, I think it'll change mainstream media just because there comes a point where you can't ignore the data, you know, the numbers and the attention that these guys get is what makes everyone turn their head.
The way I see YouTube going is that I kind of just see it growing to a bigger and bigger audience. Advertisers have been trying to get into that arena.
The content is so rich and so meaningful, and the audience is so engaged. And so, really happy to share that every week there are over 3 billion videos that are monetized on YouTube.
When we started our top 10 show, and we'd use these online celebrities to guest host each week, our traffic tripled, quadrupled. I mean, it just went through the roof once we started using them.
Finding someone off of the internet is becoming much more of a common idea. It's not a weird, out of the ordinary novelty act anymore. You know, it's actually, this is the way things are done, you know, so you'll see a lot more of that, I think. Talent being plucked from the internet and finding audiences whichever way possible.
Amazing Race, they Googled Asian father and son, and our video showed up, so we got asked to do that. Great experience. Really stepped out of my comfort zone, got to travel the world with my dad, and learned so much about my dad.
Is I put my email, my booking email, on my YouTube, and yeah, and that's kind of how I do a majority of my jobs now. Versus, I mean, actually, a lot of my industry jobs now too have come as a result of YouTube. Chris Scott, my relation with him even built because I know he had seen my material on YouTube.
When I did Amazing Race, I was on season 17, and I told all my fans to tune in, and it became the highest rated season ever. Like, I brought in like my whole audience, and CBS took notice. They said, wow, like one kid like can bring in over 2 million fans to a TV show that has nothing to do with YouTube. I have a show on Cartoon Network that's on Saturday, Sunday. I have a 2-year development deal with them, and it's probably because of my YouTube, but that's how they contacted me. And right now I'm signed to CAA, and now I'm doing feature films.
I think the way that you define celebrity and popularity is completely different than the way it used to be, because whereas, you know, you have like guys like Bieber and you have like the Beatles and stuff like that, it's only a few people that are just super popular, and then you have a bunch of unknowns. You have people who sort of in our world where it's like, or you know, like you look at a lot of the YouTube people where it's like they're popular in the sense that it's like, yeah, they're getting X million views per video, right? That is by any definition a popular thing, but it's not as popular as Lady Gaga is, but it's also not complete unknown. So there's this weird middle ground, this sort of middle class of celebrity where it's like there are people who have tremendous influence, and in some cases tremendous influence in specific niches.
When I was in college, it was kind of weird. Like I had a 1-bedroom dorm room, and some people would like slip me notes under my room, and it'd say like, hey, I saw you at lunch today, like, and I was too scared to say hi, but I wanted to write you a note. You know, it's weird. Like, I prefer people to just like come up to me and just say hi.
Fuck off.
I love you. Rather than slipping me anonymous letters.
You know, when KevJumba, I love Kev to death. He was on a red carpet for collaboration. I understand he has all these girl fans going crazy. And then I saw these young guys, like 7th, 8th grade, and they were like, Kev, can I get a hug, please? Can I just get one hug? It was like, I watch all your videos. You're my older brother. Please, like, I need a hug from you. Like, you are my hero. I was like, whoa, this is more than just like, hey, can I get an autograph?
It's like the idea of like celebrity where it's like, okay, someone's walking down the street and like people are all like, you know, swarming them, sort of like, you know, Beatles style. It's like, you have situations, and we've run into it, where it's like, someone recognizes us on the street and they run over like, oh my gosh, I can take a picture, and they're going nuts over it, and 10 people around them like, what the hell is going on? Who is this guy?
The Philippines was like the craziest experience for us, like fan-wise, because like they treat ABDC contestants like celebrities, like real talk.
Magandang gabi po!
In the mall, they had to have a line of security guards hold hands like this so that we could walk through the path, and girls were just like running face first into their hands and like clotheslining themselves to try and like get a hug or like a picture or like something signed. Like that was intense.
Everywhere I go, I play one of the least favorite songs I like singing right now because I'm so tired of it, but I know it's their favorite because as soon as it comes on, it's called I Just Want You. Boom. Something I gotta say to you. It's like everyone starts singing, like immediately. Everywhere I go, it's nuts. It's like Virginia, New Jersey, Florida, wherever. And that's because of YouTube.
If you can say something good and make people think about their life and what they can do, then that's success. You know, it's not a million views. It's not, you know, truckloads of money and thousands of fans. It's none of that. It's saying something that's, you know, gonna make a difference. You know, that's gonna be positive. That's gonna be good for somebody.
It was having a conversation with my dad that actually inspired me. He's like, okay, yeah, you're doing good on YouTube. Like, are you really doing good? There's a quote in Spider-Man that my dad always tells me, and he says, with great power comes great responsibility. And I'm like, Dad, I'm not Spider-Man, but thank you, that's true. Jumba Fund is my second channel, and all the money I make through ad revenue goes towards, you know, right now it goes towards a school that's being built in Kenya. I went to Kenya last year, and with a charity called The Supply. So these guys at The Supply, they went to Kenya and they showed these kids in Kenya my videos, and apparently they liked it. So he filmed a video of himself with these kids going,
"Hey Kev, what's good, man? This is The Supply. We're a non-profit organization, but these kids want to be taught by you. So we're asking you to come to Kenya to teach this class."
I had no idea he was doing this, but I got a video file in my email, and he said, "Hey, can you watch this? I think it'll be inspiring." So I watched it, and I was like, holy camoli, you know? I was like, holy cow, this is amazing. Yes, I would love to come to Kenya, you know, so we arranged that. You know, here's the thing, I just flew to Kenya with this guy. It was just us two, and it's not the safest place in the world. And so we were really just like living in Kenya for a week.
It was fun. In between our lessons, we had dance sessions.
Okay, okay.
Bet your teachers never made you do that. Yeah, only cool teachers do it.
I came back, was really inspired, and raised around 10 to 20,000 for them. And now they're building a high school. So I went to visit their middle school, elementary school, but the problem is that that city doesn't have a high school. So like after like 8th grade, these kids don't have a school to go to, so they end up, that's the furthest of their education. So the high school's being built right now. They sent me pictures, it's amazing. It's gonna be called the Jumba Lanana, which is a city academy. Jumba Lanana Academy. So they named it after me.
Mentioning it on my second channel, no less. I just happened to say when Manila was like 80% of Manila was underwater at one point, from one of their natural disasters. I just happened to put it out there to say, if anyone, you know, we just put our money and give it to the Philippine Red Cross. $15,000 was raised. So I feel like, okay, so I could use my presence within the Filipino community to try and just activate people towards, you know, some good.
You can actually really make a positive difference because you do have a following and you do have an audience that you're speaking to, and that you can really set a good example.
And with, you know, YouTube and all the social media, you're able to reach out to a global audience, not just kind of just a local talent.
This global audience is finally witnessing Asian Americans doing good, inspiring others, expressing their voice, and being funny and cool.
I remember hearing someone said, like, there's a comedian that he made a joke like how like the racist thing now to say to like an Asian person is not like, oh, I bet you can do math. It's like, oh, I bet you can dance. And I'm like, that's cool. Like it's so cool that's changed, or like how like because of a lot of Asians are viewed as good dancers, like now like Asian guys in high schools are like really hot or something. I think that's so strange but cool.
The idea of an effeminate Asian male is definitely broken because of new media, because you have a platform for a young audience to see people like Harry Shum, you know, dancing like crazy, so cool. On TV, he's dancing. He's doing all this stuff that's, you know, very, it's not effeminate, it's cool, it's slick, whatever you would call it. You have people like Ryan and Kevin, and they're funny, and that is attractive in its own sense, right? That they're doing their thing and they're confident.
You know, Freddie Wong is an action hero and all. You know, you would never have seen that maybe a while back. He got the guns and grenades and he killed everybody. You know, at the same time, he's added a lot of comedy to it.
It broke the mold for a lot of perceptions that people may have had.
They're artists and they're charming and they're this and that, which is sort of was always the reality, but never really seen. And media now, actually, the public eats that up now. So it's a great place to be. And
I was actually giving private lessons to this kid, this Jewish kid, and he was just telling me like, "Oh man, you're so lucky. You're so lucky. You're Asian. All the cool kids are Asian." And I was like, "Whoa, it was not like that when I was young. That is crazy to hear." And I think that was just like a very a prime moment that dated me. It's like, all right, I'm definitely getting a little bit older because generation is much different now. If you know, being Asian is the cool thing to be.
There now exist role models to help foster the next generation of artists. Asian Americans can grow up having the support and encouragement they need to pursue their passions.
All the people who, you know, played their part as game changers, they didn't limit their thought process of what's capable.
Like you see like another, you know, piece from someone and it's like really great, and you watch it and you're like, wow, I need to do something like that, or I need to step my game up.
Oh my God, I saw this movie of yours, and that's why I didn't know I could be an actress until I saw that, and that's so nice. And they asked me for advice, and I'm happy to give it.
I think I really believe in the younger generation or the upcoming generation because, you know, in 10 years, they're going to be our peers. They're not going to be the next generation. If we want them to do well in life and we want them to succeed, you know, we got to teach them. We got to do whatever we can. If not to be role models, just to be good examples.
When I first started acting professionally, when I left college, I didn't know anybody, and I was one of maybe 5 Indians that were working. And so I had no one to ask for advice. I wish I did, because I made some really bad decisions, and I wish I had some guidance.
Of course, having a mentor is the most amazing thing you can ever have, because it's someone telling you their secrets. It's somebody teaching you something that they learned. It took them 10 years to learn. They can tell you in 3 sentences.
I was at this conference or whatever, and Teddy Z was speaking, and one thing he said really stuck with me, and he just said one of the questions for like acting and making an industry to him was like, you know, how is it difficult as an Asian American to like make it in the entertainment industry, you know, like, and his response was just like, it's also difficult for a white man in the entertainment industry, or, you know, a Hispanic, whatever, black guy, you know, like, it's just like how you view it. It's a mindset. If you want to keep, you know, telling yourself that there are these limitations, you're completely right. Those limitations are going to exist in your brain. It's just the fact that you need to, you know, stay confident and allow for possibilities.
What we should do is be so talented, so good at our craft that there's absolutely no way they can't pick us.
Personally, I don't get discouraged because I'm Asian. I get discouraged because acting is hard and this business is incredibly hard, and I know that everyone struggles in it. It seems strange to say, but to be a 5'6" pretty blonde girl, it's tough. You're gonna have more opportunities, but there are a lot of 5'6" pretty blonde girls, you know, that you're going up for.
What I get from a lot of Asian kids that want to do it is they're not confident in their own abilities. They speculate, they analyze, they ask their friends, they ask people who don't even know what they're talking about, and they gather all this data and then they make the conclusion, well, maybe I shouldn't do it. But deep down inside, they still want to do it.
Do things because you love them and because you're passionate about them. Do it. Follow your love of it, follow your passion of it, find people that like the same things you do, and you're not waiting for something else to determine whether what you're doing is valid or not. Because you're getting something every time you work, every time you go to an improv class, every time you do a class. Oh, take classes. Do shit.
There's one thing that you can't get from the internet, and that is live performance practice and exposure. Utilize the internet as much as possible, but don't forget to actually go out there and put yourself out there physically. And then after you do that, then people can come to your YouTube page and you have content for them to see.
I don't like to overstate like certain narratives. Like I know in Asian American literature or like pop literature, you know, it's quick to say like Fari's #1 single, we made it. Like Daniel Day Kim, Hawaii 5-0, we made it. It's like, no, because there's still, I mean, it's like, it's moves in the right direction, but there's still so much room to go.
A lot of the content creators are Asian Americans and are putting the image forth the way they see themselves as opposed to the way the world sees them. And I think that's great. I think that's born out of frustration, you know, and it's just like, well, they're not gonna give us those roles. We're gonna do those roles and we're gonna make those roles.
The paradigm shift that's happened is YouTube has created an Asian American market where there was no Asian American market before.
An amazing thing. I think it's a historic thing. I think years down the road, they're going to look back and say, this was it. This is what sort of changed things.
And I feel like the internet and these video sharing channels and stuff, it's almost like a democracy of kind. Well, one can say a democracy, but it's also the Wild Wild West, right? Everyone's going for the gold rush. And what's amazing about that is that no one knows what it's going to be. No one knows.
The internet is there, it's leveling the playing field for independent artists like us. The tools are there and it would be a shame for us not to embrace that technology and do what we can to use it to connect us to as many people as we can.
If you happen to know about the lady in Hawaii who wrote me and said, I only have days to live, I have cancer has overtaken my body, and I just want to let you know that your comedy has really meant so much to me in these last days. It has given me the laughter that I've needed and helped me through these times. And I was just like, I mean, that's why I want to do what I do. You know, when I read that and she said, I'm planning my celebration of life service instead of she didn't call it a funeral, she called it my celebration of life service. And the song that you have on your channel, there was one that I sang for a guy that had passed away, he drowned. So I sang a song about him being welcomed into heaven and, you know, a crown on his head and just what the picture of heaven would be like. And she said, can we have permission for that song to be sung here in Hawaii? And I was writing her back, we are going to Hawaii, I want to meet you, I want to be there for you, because to me, what good is it if I reach 10 million people, but I have no personal connection to them at all? Like I make no positive impact. I make no real mark. And with her, I felt like this is why I do what I do. And so I said, I'll sing it in person. I'll come meet you, you know. And she didn't end up getting that email. She died, and her husband wrote me again. He didn't know that I wrote, and he said, we're getting ready to have her celebration of life service, and would you mind for us to have permission? Again, he asked permission. I'm like, he's asking permission to have it sung. We have a local artist that could sing this song. And he left his number. I called him immediately, said, my family and I, we're going to Hawaii.
So it is my honor to be here for you, Letty. I did not have the privilege to meet you in person, but one day I will get to meet you, and this is for you, Letty.
Just to connect with that family. And it meant so much to them that they were losing this daughter, this wife, this mother. She meant so much in that community. And do you know, they asked me to do comedy because they couldn't stand the depth of their sadness was so much. They didn't want to keep telling the story of her last moments and all this. It was so much for them to bear that after a while they turned to me and they said, "Christine, will you please tell us stories now of your family?" And I felt like, okay, let me pull the tools out of the comedy tool bag, you know what I mean? Success to me is making an impact, making a mark on people's, a positive mark is what I mean, encouraging people and hoping the comedy can be an instrument of healing for people.
Shining so bright, radiant white, imperfect peace.
But now to be able to have the means with social media to get out of that box and to say, I'm this, I'm that, I can create it, I can invent it. We should support that. We should be bold and create that, and then just promote it.
LA, let me see your hands in the air. Put them up, cool. Beach. Stop. Flip through the paper, turn on the tally, go to a movie. Flip through the paper, turn on the tally, go to a movie. Flip through the paper, turn on the tally, go to a movie. Flip through the paper, turn on the tally, go to a movie. Just because I saw the movie Crouching Tiger doesn't mean that I know Kung Fu. And just because Mr. Yan has an accent doesn't mean that I've got one too. People tell me I speak good English, oh then I'm nothing to be Bruce Lee. Where do they get their preconceptions of what I'm supposed to be? Flip through the paper, turn on the tally, go to a movie. Flip through the paper, turn on the tally, go to a movie. Flip through the paper, turn on the tally, go to a movie. Flip through the paper, turn on the tally. It's in the TV movie paper. Wake up, this just in. I'm being judged by the color of my skin. Wake up, that's not